Welcome guys to today's video. For today's video, we're talking on conditional statements in Arduino C/C++. So, what are conditional statements? In Arduino, conditional statements allow programs to make decisions based on certain conditions. You know, in previous video when I talked on conditions, so we have 5 greater than 5, or 5 less than 5, or rice or beans. When I talked about rice or beans, or rice and beans. So now we can now perform action based on the result of the decision. So for example, now if I wanted to get rice or beans, and then I go to the store, when I go to restaurant and I said give me rice or beans, so when I'm giving rice, if I'm giving either rice or beans, then I do something. So I can do something with those conditions. So that's what conditional statements are. So they enable the code to execute different set of instructions depending on whether a instruction is true or false. The first conditional statement is the if statement. So this is looking very small. Let's make this big. That's not stress. So if statement sometimes is if you put your condition in the bracket. There's those conditions we did in the previous video. Just put them there. So if it's true, the condition, whatever is in this statement block of if statement will happen. So whatever is here within these two braces will happen. So if I say share.print something, it will happen. So I can tell you turn on an LED, do some digital right, turn on an LED, or digital right, turn off an LED. So this may check the specified condition. So this may check the condition and execute the code inside the block if the condition evaluates to be true. If the condition is false, it will skip it. So if if the condition is false, you skip that statement and go to the next line of code. So let's try doing it on our work on our simulator here. Let's begin our serial monitor. Let's create the conditions here. So let's create some variables. Let's create some variables, global variables, and do rice equals to 1. That means let's assume there's rice in the restaurant. Beans is equals to 0. So from this variables, rice is available, beans is not available. Let's not do something. If rice, so if it may just put a condition. So let's add a condition for when I go to restaurants and I tell them give me rice or beans. So if rice or you want that sign for beans. If rice or beans. If rice or beans, then I put a curly bracket. So if that statement is true, it's going to do what inside it. It's going to do what is inside the if statement block. So I can do serial.print serial dot print line eat some food. So now based on this statement, now remember it's an all operator, all logical operator. So if one of them is true, the whole statement will be true. So if I say I want rice or beans, so if there's no beans, now for my variables here, if there's no beans, but there's rice, I'll take rice. So at least one of them is true, that means it's going to be, the whole statement will be true. So if I run this code, we should get a response on our serial monitor. Where's the run? Okay, if I run this, eat some food. Now it's repeating this continuously because it's in the loop. We can move it to our setup. Let's move it to our setup. It just happens once in the setup. So now what happens if there's no rice or beans? As I said, it's going to skip it. So nothing will print on our serial monitor. I said nothing printed because both of them are false. Okay, to false test that, let me put a piece of code down here saying I am after the if statement. So now I run this, it's going to skip the if statement and just see, because now both of them are false and to give us false because of our OR operator. So now let's go back to our slide. So this is sign up for else statement. We have an if statement, the normal statement we just did, but now else statement executes when if statement is false. So in our case, when we did 0 0 for bins, and when there was 0 for rice, 0 for beans, that means there's no rice, there's no beans. So the else statement executes because of now if statement will be false, because 0 or 0 will give us 0. So remember our OR operator, 0 0 will give you 0. Because if I go to the restaurant, there's no rice, there's no beans. 0, I can't eat anything, so it's going to be false or 0. So now let's go back to our code and execute this. Before I go now, else statement, if statement here, else statement cannot work on its own. It has to work in conjunction with an if statement. So now let's go. Let's go to our code here. So now I cannot do else now. Serial dot print or category restaurant. Restaurant. So now it's better correction because of both rice and beans are false. Then this will repeat to false because 0 0. If this is false, then the else statement to be executed. Or if one of them were true, now we should get eat some food. See? So what if I change this to and? Can you guys guess the result? What kind of restaurant? Why is that? Because and if I say I want rice and beans, meaning I want rice and beans. So if one of them is not available, then I'm not eating anything. So if one of them is false, the whole thing will be false. If you have 1 0, the whole thing will be false. So two of them have to be true for it to be. Two of them have to be true for the whole statement to be true. So if any of them is false, the whole thing will be false. So for it to work out, they have to both have rice and beans because that's what I want to eat. If I do this now, I should eat some food. We can also do this with numbers. We can also do this with relational operators. Like, okay, we're going to try it even now using the other conditional. Let's go back. Okay, so else if statement. So we have our if statement and else if. Else if is to create like a chain of if statements. Then you can have finally else at the bottom. So it checks each condition sequence until one of them evaluates to true. The corresponding code blocks executed and the rest are skipped. So we have like multiple conditions. So it checks any of them is true. Only the one that is true is the one that gets to run, while the rest are skipped. If none of them are true, then to run the code in the else, to run the code in this else statement block. So let's try it out. Let's play with some integers now. Let's see. In let's say int x equals to 5. And I do if x is greater than 5, do this. And else if. Let's check the syntax. Correct. Else if. Now to put a condition on now. Let's see, x equals 5. This is a equality operator. Let's print the print line x is equal to 5. Then we can have another else. You can have multiple else if. So if you have if you want to do something based on the value of a number, if that number is 1, do something. If it's 2, do something. If it's, you can have like 3 switches. If switch 1 is on, do something else. If switch 1 is 2, do something else. So x else if x equals okay, let's do s less than 5. Do something here. Let's just copy this and just s is less than 5. We can go on and put more condition. So if it was shut up, if none of the question are sure, you can please go start the okay. Let's work on input. Let's check your input. Check your input. Let's put something random. So let's change this. X is greater than 5. X is greater than 5. So now which of this code will run? From this, we have an error. I think I'm missing a column somewhere. Oh, so it's yes, I didn't put my column there. So after that column, now I put s equals to 5, but s actually equals to 5. So if I were to do 6, what do you think? If I do 6, this will run. Only this will run. But x not greater than x is greater than 5, but that will run. So we can add more and more else if statement for more conditions. So real life example, or you can do this can be in form of temperature. So imagine you can use them for things that don't have two states like on, off, hot, cold. Look, for temperature you can do hot, cold, warm. You can do if the water is hot, do this. Else if it's warm, do this. Else if it is cold, then do this. Then else do something else. There will not be any other state from else. So you cannot do if, else if, and else. So if the water is cold, do this. Else if the water is hot, do this. Then else for the other possible condition will be that the water will be warm. Else. That's what we can do. So we're done with the else if statement.